that. The music from the 50s into the 60s, it got better every year. I just kept hearing more and more music that I wanted to listen to. And I'd be listening on Top 40 Radio New York station. We lived in a New York suburb in New Jersey. And I shared a room with my older brother, and we would listen to Murray the K, and we'd listen to the top 20 countdown, and it would get past our bedtime. It'd be 10 o'clock. My dad would knock on the door, turn that thing off. So we would turn it way down, and then when we heard the bedroom door close on my mom and dad, we turned it back on. So and we would just listen. We loved that music.
I wanted to jump on an angle on that. So one thing about the classical music that I think is really interesting is talking about it as music of the time. I think a lot of people think of classical music as some sort of, it's like great, or like Grant was saying, like it's what you study in school or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like these composers, they're almost they're what would be like a mystique or something. They're
it wasn't as accessible. The knowledge wasn't accessible. You couldn't get it on the radio back then. How do you even become a musician back in the classical era?
You had to listen to it over and over again and try to play along with the radio.
Well, they like.
I'm talking about way back in the classical era. How do you become a musician?
Yeah.
You can't listen to it over and over again and play it. Yeah. You have to have someone that's teaching you every single thing.
That made performance like.
And I think that was the way it was with the classical musicians. Like somebody would mentor somebody else. He'd always be looking for students they wanted to pass their skills on. I think Mozart might have studied under Haydn or something. There's so much history there that we don't know and we don't study. But whenever I look into it, it's astounding how people's paths crossed.
That just reminded me of something else I thought earlier this week. You know how people say, how did you learn guitar? And people say, I was self-taught. I don't think people can say that anymore because like everyone learns on YouTube. Yeah, because you've learned from like a dozen or hundreds of different people at this point,
I
right?
think that counts as being self-taught.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that counts.
I don't know, because other people put in a bunch of work to create and show you exactly what they're doing, and you're watching a digital representation of them, sure, so it's not technically them like being there with you, showing you put your fingers like this. But
yeah, but you don't have that person going and correcting you and telling you you're doing it wrong. So I guess 50-50 maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's kind of half and half, because like, I think people, when they think the opposite of self-taught, they're like, oh, you spent hours with a teacher kind of guiding you through everything. But in a way, like, you are doing a lot of it yourself. But even if you're not using YouTube, you're usually watching some musician you love play live, and usually you start off replicating that style first. So you learn from other people in some way, even if you're not paying for lessons.
Yeah, you're going to have to put in hours. The teacher can spend 1 or 2 hours a week with you, and it's probably going to cost a bunch of money. So you have to take what you got out of that lesson and work at it.
The time that you spend alone, it's more important, borderline, than the lesson. Well, they're both important, but if you spend 15 minutes in a lesson and spend 3 hours, practicing that lesson, you're going to be a lot better off than if you take a 2-hour lesson and practice it for an hour.
Yep.
I think what the practice really allows you to do is learn how to use your own body. I think that's a lot of it, right? Is like, because everyone has your body is slightly different than anybody else's, and you got to learn how to use yours and what you want to do with the sound. So I think, but I wanted to throw out this out about the classical music. I think it's just music of their time, and that these classical pianists, they're sure that they were the great pianists of that time, but that was the tool that they had at hand. And so I don't think there's anything that much different about the great artists now. And one thing that I think would be interesting to talk about is, like, that music to me, like that piece that I just played, it's almost spooky. It's like, and if you think about like hundreds of years ago, that was the mode. If you listen to a lot of different classical music, there's some pretty happy music, but there's a lot of kind of like tragic kind of music. There's some kind of tragedy in it. And so if that's the music, that was the expression, the great expression of the time. And then you get into like the 60s, like you were saying, and I used to listen to pop songs and think like, oh, these are so cool, and I wish I would play music like that. But I was listening to like the Rolling Stones. What is that black? You know what I'm talking about? Isn't it one that like I see
Paint
a
It
red
Black,
door and I
Paint
paint
It
it black. Paint it black. If you listen to that, like it's a pop song or whatever, it's because it's popular.
It's about depression.
But it's dark. It's so dark. And like it'll come on the radio or whatever, or it comes on in a pop place and be like, and people like get into it and they're like, you don't even know, like that guy is like in the pit of despair right now, and that's what he's singing about. And I don't think he's joking. I don't think these people were like, I think they wrote that from a real place. Maybe they're famous so people didn't think that they were going through that or something, or they just. But
there are some songs that are just like that. Like one of my favorite songs of all time is "Semi-Charmed Life" by Third Eye Blind.
Yeah.
And you know, I just imagine soccer moms like in their car singing along about, and it's really not an appropriate song at all, but it's playing everywhere, But
Yeah, musicians in the 1700s, they worked very hard at music. Nobody wanted to pay them to work hard at music, so they either needed somebody to support them, such as parents or a wife or a brother or something like that. And when you have that much creativity and that much talent, you live in a world of misery because you deal with jealous people. They want to get paid back for supporting you and what they've put into you. And then you come up to the 1950s and 1960s, and most of the top stars then became top stars because they had a manager or a DJ that was playing them that had tentacles into them for the rest of their life. And it's amazing how some of the themes just morph into the modern world, but you're dealing with the same conflicts. You want to work on your music. Your parents want you to work on your English composition and
computer programming.
If you're very creative, somehow you're working on a song that you can then use to complete your English assignment and get an A on the report.
All right, well, David, let's throw it to you. Why don't David's going to play us a couple of songs, and then Eddie, if you're out there, Eddie and Sean, we're going to be coming to you in just a minute. David's going to play us a couple of songs, and David, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe about the songs that you're going to play?
Well, I'm somebody that did live in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the aughts, the teens, and the 20s. So I'm in my ninth decade, and music has brought me through everything, and I always wanted to be around it, and the more I was around it, the more I wanted to play it, and after a while, I started to think of myself as a musician, and I'm going to share a song I wasn't planning to share, but this discussion demands it. It's called "Music Sets You Free." Music is a celebration of life. A song can save you from a nasty mood. Makes it easier to love your neighbor, and everything looks better. It can make it sweet when music fills your heart. That's the best of all, 'cause music sets you free and tears down every wall. They say a pretty girl is like a melody. Every time you see her, life is ecstasy. Till the day she leaves you and you sing the blues. Feels like life ain't worth living. You were born to lose. There is music in your hands, music in your feet. It can take something bitter, and it can make it sweet when music fills your heart. That's the best of all, 'cause music sets you free and tears down every wall. Now you're feeling better, you got back your smile. There's a bounce in your step, you're dancing through life. It's easier than ever to show people you care. You know what they're going through, 'cause you've been there. There is music in your hands, music in your feet. It can take something bitter, and it can make it sweet when music fills your heart. That's the best of all, 'cause music sets you free and it tears down every wall. Music is a celebration of life. A song can save you from a nasty mood, makes it easier to love your neighbor, and everything looks better when you're feeling good. Music is a celebration of life. Music is a celebration of life. Music is a celebration of life. Thank you, thank you.
I was wanting a tambourine. That's really
See,
what
our lives are so impacted by music, and I kind of knew what I was going to do tonight. I don't know if I'm going to do it anymore, because I was impacted by my friend playing classical music. It's just so powerful, and I try to expose myself to good music every day. I tell my friends, you're watching too much TV. You need to listen. You need to listen to.
That we have such access to music, and nowadays that we haven't had.
I can't say there's all these great TV programs and I haven't had time to watch them. When I turn on the TV, it's mostly crap.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of absolutely great music that I never heard like till last week.
There's
always finding
there's
stuff.
too much to even go through. It's so tough. So much good music, so many talented artists, but
Yeah, and streaming really has opened the door. You can find like 30 new artists that you love in just one day. You know, we have so much more access to finding it online and Spotify or just YouTube, wherever you go.
And you were talking earlier about how, you know, it used to be you had the manager who had the tentacles in you and, like, you know, basically guiding you and telling you what to do the whole time. I think we finally out of that pretty heavily with streaming, and that you're getting a lot more original music, even if that original music is harder to find because it is, you know, such there are a ton of artists out there, you know, so.
But there are more music lovers than ever. So
It's true.
if you're creating music and you want to share music, there's people out there that are gonna like what they hear.
Agreed.
There isn't these gangsters anymore saying, look, if you want to share your music and have it played on the radio, you've got to sign right here.
You got to give us half your money.
And they would even steal credit for the songs that were written. So they'd be taking money out of the family of the young musician who wrote the song. They would change one word in the title, and now they're co-writer of the song, getting fourth of the royalties.
Yeah. And the thing is, with streaming being available too as a musician, even if you don't have a huge following, it's just a freeing feeling, like as an artist, to have your music out there in some way where
And accessible to everyone.
And you
exactly,
can share
and
it.
someone you don't know,
Every day.
you may never meet, will come across it.
That's one of the coolest like
Right?
experiences. Like some of like on Spotify for Artists app, whenever you scroll through it and you're like, I know for a fact that my music was streamed in places that I will never go in my entire life. And that's such a cool thing to think, like, you know, my music was like played somewhere in Europe or in, you know, Australia, and you're just like, wow,
That's a rock star moment right
so
there.
cool. You know, it's like
Living the dream.
one here and one there, but still I don't care. Like it's
That's
awesome.
People out there who love, you'll never meet.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
Makes it all worth it.
Yeah, beautiful.
David, let's hear another.
All right, this is a song I wrote it as a parent, giving advice to my son, and of course he didn't listen. It sort of reminds me of when I had a dog that was really vicious. So I got a dog training tape for $49.95 that they were advertising after the Late Show, and I had to get rid of the dog because he would never watch the video with me. The song is called "What She Needs from You." It's better to move slow than to move too fast. If you want it to grow, if you want it to last, you gotta get it right. Even if it takes all night. If she ain't ready, give her time. Be there when she changes her mind. Sometimes you gotta wait so you can get it straight. 'Cause love is well worth waiting for. Do what it takes to make her sure that you can count on you to see it through with a love so true. love takes two. If it's just you, it's one too few. If she's the woman you adore, be the man she's been waiting for, and give her all your heart. Right from the very start. But love is well worth waiting for. Do what it takes to make her sure that she can count on you to see it through with a love so true. That's what she needs from you. It's better to move slow than to move too fast. If you want it to grow, if you want it to last, you gotta get it right. Even if it takes all night. 'Cause love is well worth waiting for. Do what it takes to make her sure that she can count on you to see it through with a love so true. That's what she needs from you. Better to move slow than to move too fast. Thank you. See those? That's the G, E minor, C, and D. Your basic New York rock and roll of the late 50s.
I liked it.
Thank
Really
you.
liked
Great
that
song.
All right. David, do you have anywhere where you post your song? I know you post it on Music. You post quite a bit of stuff on Music.
That's my main way of sharing my music with my friends, and my hope is always that they'll share it with their friends. And then I like to go out and meet other musicians and play at open mics, but maybe one or two a week, because I'm married to the girl of my dreams, and so there really is no place like home. But I'm not gonna sing that song tonight. But she's always on my mind.
Yeah, that's
And the whole point of playing music in the first place was to get away from my parents, find a really unbelievably great woman, and start my own family. And with God's help, I was able to do that. It wasn't easy.
Eddie and Sean, we are coming to you now. Eddie, I don't see either of y'all on Skype. I'm hoping that you're watching the stream. I'm gonna give Sean a call. Hopefully that goes. Eddie, if you're watching, you need to add eOpenMic on Skype, and then I'll give you a call. And if not, I'm gonna grab the Grant's camera, which is my phone, and give you a call there and see if we can't make it work out. But let's give Sean a call here and see what happens. Let's do this here, and we'll go. All right. Sorry if that's loud. I don't know if y'all can hear that on the stream, but we're listening to the Skype music.
It's really a bop.
Skype audio. Speakers. Take it down a little bit there.
Really
All right.
annoys me that it doesn't, like, it's not perfectly in time. It's half a beat away from like
Right.
being perfect.
It's so catchy though.
All right.
It is. If only they would have just made it like complete.
Okay, I tell you what, Kevin, let's go to you, and I'm gonna put the camera shot on to just Kevin here, and we're gonna get that. That's where
got
you
the
were
wrong-
last
You got the
time.
wrong.
Yeah. Boom. Boom. All right. Kevin, do you want to share any of your social media or anything?
Just verbally.
Sure. Or I could put. I've got these here. I could change it. You want to share your Instagram or whatever you want to do?
You can do Facebook, which is Kevin
Okay.
Roche Music.
Okay. Let's change that. Kevin Roche Music. And boom. And then I got to change the Facebook icon. I'll work on that. All right, everybody, this is Kevin Roche. He's going to play some original songs for you. I met Kevin at Mike Club, and he recorded a couple of his original songs here with me. He's a really good original songwriter. He's got a great sense for structure. Yeah, I'll take it with Kevin. If you want to tell him a little bit about yourself and your music or your songs.
Yeah. So my name is Kevin Roche. I'm from the Goose Creek area here in South Carolina. And I have been pretty much just head over heels in love with music since I was in like 6th grade. I was kind of a quiet kid, so I definitely found a home in music with band stuff, playing saxophone, and then later picking up guitar and writing songs and jamming with friends. And within the last 5 years, I started performing at open mics and just doing what I can to get out there and push myself as a performer and a songwriter. And the first song I wanted to play tonight is actually one of the 2 songs that I just recorded with Mr. Noah Grove. And we had a good time on this one, and we actually recorded a pretty different version of it. So that'll be coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. This first song is the first one that we did. It's called Devil's Daughter. Oh, are we okay?
All right, hang on. All right, sorry about that.
That's all right. Devil's Daughter. So let me tell you how I've been feeling. Can't find the right words, so I will tell you in a song I wrote about a girl I used to know. She had a tongue like a knife, and she cut right through you with every single word. You wouldn't even care how much she tore you down. She'd leave you begging for more and say see you later and kick you right to the curb. This torture, give me more. I suffer, and yet I don't leave. Devil's daughter, why do you tempt me so? I'm a goner, and here I ever can. You know I can't resist, and I always seem to fall for your tricks. This is the devil's daughter, and she's got me down on my knees again. So she will tell you this time it's different. Give me another chance, and you will fall for it. The skull, I know she's coming in hot, and whether you are ready or not, she'll get you by the throat and steal your breath away. Don't take my word for it, just take a look and see. Just know that you will never be free, and drop to your knees. This torture, I've seen it before. You'll suffer, and yet you won't leave. Devil's daughter, why do you tempt me so? I'm a goner, and here I am, caught in your web again. You know I can't resist, and I always seem to fall for your tricks. This is the devil's daughter, and she's got me down on my knees again. I gave this my all, I never learned. That's okay, it's my own funeral. Devil's daughter, why do you tempt me so? I'm a goner, and here I am, caught in your web again. You know I can't resist, and I always seem to fall for your tricks. This is the devil's daughter, and she's got me down on my knees again.
Nice.
I can really hear your influences in there. I can.
Thank you.
Like your choice of whenever you change chords. Like I could definitely hear from the songs that you play on open mic. Like that Ghost song.
Yeah.
It chooses to like sit on notes like that I wouldn't ever think to sit on.
Right.
And then like. But it works. It works really, really well. And I also heard it sounded a little bit A Day to Remember-y. And I could
That is a huge influence of mine, is A Day to Remember. I think we actually just played one of their songs together at my club.
Yeah, at my club last week.
Yeah, they are easily one of my biggest influences. Ghost is a more recent one, and lyrically the song's very much inspired by Ghost, because they have this real gift for taking darker lyrics, but putting almost like just a fun tongue-in-cheek spin on them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the goal with the song. Was I was like, I don't want it to be too dark. I just want it to be kind of like upbeat and fun.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
you can hear it.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I really like it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I think I got Eddie figured out there. So, but Kevin's got another song for us, and well, I guess I sort of already said this at the beginning of before Kevin played that song, but I just think like your song structure is like it's so well crafted, and it's also in a certain vein, right? It's like who do you listen to? Like who are your main influences?
Main influences, Green Day was the reason that I picked up guitar and started singing in the first place. These days, really influenced by Ed Sheeran or the guys like in the vein of Shawn Mendes. And then on the band side, A Day to Remember and Ghost. And
you can hear all those. Yeah. Like, it doesn't sound like you should be able to hear all those, but you can hear all that.
I appreciate it.
Good, yeah.
All right. All right. Let me get Grant's camera set back up, and then I'll switch over. But Kevin, why don't you go ahead and take us into another one?
All right. So this is song number 2 that I recorded with Mr. Noah Grove. And I always kind of wait for the right moment to bust this one out because it's a little bit heavier lyrically, but it's a pretty honest story. It's about a girl and a storyline that lasted 7 years. And by the lyrics, I think you can tell where the storyline went. So... but this will be coming out soon too. I had a good time recording and working on this one with Noah, and this song's called Tie the Knot. Baby, one song just wasn't enough. There's so much more that I need to get off of my chest. Got a front row ticket to my worst ever nightmare. That's alright with me. Seven years have led to this. I never ever dreamed that it would end this way. I always hoped that I would find the right words, but they never came. The aisles fill and the act begins. So go ahead and tie the knot around my neck. Take my breath away. How come out of it stronger now than I ever was before? I guess I know where I stand in the bigger picture of your life. This is your curtain call and your public awaits. Maybe someday I'll understand why you chose to leave me all alone in the dark. But what is one more failed audition? It's alright with me. There's a 4-letter word that I never wanted to say, but way deep down I always knew it was true. It's too late now, your big debut is tonight. So I'll take a seat. The house is full and the show begins. So go ahead and tie the knot around my neck. Take my breath away. How come out of it stronger now than I ever was before? I guess I know where I stand in the bigger picture of your life. This is your curtain call and your public awaits. So go ahead and tie the knot around my neck. Take my breath away. How come out of it stronger now than I ever was before? Yes, I know where I stand in the bigger picture of your life. This is your curtain call in public. Always. Take your bow. I wish you well.
I really like the lyrical misdirection right there.
Yeah.
I really could appreciate that. The tie the knot. It sounds like it's going to be a happy song, and you're like, nope, this is
Not
not a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a heavier one, but I always try to, if the songs are darker, I always try to kind of flip them on their head, and
It makes it more powerful, I
Yeah.
think.
Flip
Yeah,
it on
whenever
their
you don't
head.
see it coming.
exactly,
Yeah.
but flip it on a head and try to end it on this high note. Thus, the "Take your bow, I wish you well" line. You know,
Good song.
thank you.
Both
Appreciate
good
it, man.
songs. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to get Mr. Eddie Booz on here. Let's see. Trying to think with the okay. Let's all right. Let's just give Eddie a call. Let's see. Boom. There it goes. Giving Eddie a call. All right. What up, Eddie? Pretty good. How are you? All right. Let me get. I see you, and let me get you up on here. The video's like it's shaking. Give me a second here. Window projector. Full screen. All right, you guys can see it. All right, let me try this. Video capture device, NDI source. We're going to go with that. And we'll go with. Come on! Okay. Huh. Maybe that was just a weird glitched out one. All right, we're there. All right. We got you here, Eddie. And now I just want to make sure the stream is live because the application just quit on me. And I just want to make sure the stream is still out there live. So give me 1 second.
All right.
I need to get a better computer. This computer is actually a pretty good one, but it just doesn't seem to be able to handle this quite. All right. Looks like we're good.
No, it's all good, man. Sometimes OBS is
A little buggy.
a little
Yeah.
finicky, you know?
I was.
Yeah, you have to figure out like, the bit rate stuff. Sometimes you have to like
Okay.
lower your bit rate. If you want to go into settings, your bit rate, you may lower that to like 2,500. That may help.
All right. I think we're good here. So, hey, everybody, this is Eddie Booz. Eddie,
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Eddie.
you already kind of met everyone, I guess, but we got Kevin, Grant, and David. And I'll just introduce you a little bit here. And Eddie is a songwriter, and I mean, you're a bunch of different things. You're a film editor. You're the human jukebox. You are, and he's been performing in Long Beach, California for how long have you been a gigging musician in Long Beach or in LA?
I've been playing out in Long Beach since I was not exactly saying how old I am now, but since I was 18, so a long
Okay,
time,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, I've been playing out here a long time. I've been writing music for film and television for about 10 years now. I've been producing films. You can find my stuff on like Amazon Prime, and some of my stuff's been on Netflix. You can find my stuff at like Walmart and Target and all over the place. But yeah, I run a nonprofit organization that runs songwriting programs with kids and after school programs and stuff. So yeah, I just try and do as much as I can with music as possible. Write it, perform it, produce it.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, Eddie. Well, hey, let's see. Should I say anything? Let's see. I'll throw this down. This is the story that I'll probably hold on. This is the main story for me that I associate with Eddie, which is when I came to Long Beach. The first time I was in Long Beach, I was living in a car, and I hadn't probably hardly played a gig before in my life, and Eddie hooked me up at this place called Gallagher's Pub, and he got me I think one of my second gig that I had in Long Beach at all, and I didn't have a PA, and this guy knew me in a pretty short amount of time. I met him at open mic, and he lent me his PA so I could do this gig. He just let me come pick up all his gear. I'm this new guy in town living in his car, and this guy just let me use his stuff, and that to me it just let me know Long Beach was a good place to be. I don't know, it's not it's just okay, if Eddie Booz is here, then there's a reason to stick around. It's and I don't know, it's anyway, that's just such a cool thing to do. It started me off, and I don't know, sometimes just little things, I wouldn't say that's little, but it can have such an impact on your trajectory, and so that was such a significant thing for me. So
that's awesome, dude. That's actually really cool to know. Going off that, actually, I'll just say one quick thing here before I play, but I also as far as it goes with you, dude, so I met Noah at an open mic night that I was running at a place called Sababa. Noah showed up at this open mic, and he gets up and he plays a couple songs and just floored me. I was just, everybody in the place, actually. I can remember even the owner came up to me and I was like, dude, he was like, who is this guy? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I just literally showed up out of nowhere, So, but we talked, and anybody who knows Noah out there, anybody who's watching or has met him, or I'm sure you guys who know him real well, you guys know Noah's personality, Noah's demeanor, and instantly that he's just so warm, and he's like that to everybody. He's such a good guy. It's funny. No, I did another nonprofit organization called Life is Better with Blankets, and we would collect blankets and jackets and things like that around the winter time, and then donate them to shelters in the area. And Noah donated his time one morning, and he showed up and he walked around the neighborhood, and every 30 minutes he was coming back with his wagon completely full of blankets, and it took everyone else 2 hours, 3 hours to fill up their wagons. Noah got 6 full wagons in the time it took everyone else to get one. He was just so warm. Everybody wanted to give him. They were like, you want us to make you breakfast too? You know what I mean? It's our daughter.
Yes, if anybody listening needs blankets, if you need somebody to gather blankets for you, I've got I can do that.
Yeah, that and a whole bunch of other things, bro. You're a pretty awesome guy, man. And I will say too, Noah goes, he asked me, he goes, dude, because I make a living playing music for the most part down here in Long Beach, and it's not easy. And Noah asked me, he goes, how the hell do you do this? I said, you want to know? I said, come over to my house one day. I said, I'll talk to you. I'll tell you my formula, exactly how I get shows, exactly how I keep my calendar full. He goes, all right, no problem. He comes over. He literally did it. He called me, comes over to my house. I ran him through what I do. He was the only person. I've done that with 6 people. He's the only person out of all the people that have ever asked me and literally listened. He's the only one who took it, and within 2 weeks had a full schedule and was just doing it, just doing it big, and you've done everything, bro, from recording and producing to hosting open mics and gigging yourself, and a great songwriter and stuff. So, kudos to you, Noah. Great to see you again, but I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, let's hear some songs.
All right, cool, man. I'll play you 2 off the album that I'm recording right now. So I'm recording an album right now. I know a lot of people don't really put out albums anymore. They put out singles now. But I actually wrote this album as an album. It's meant to be listened to from beginning to end. So it's about a time in my life. It's about a relationship that I had, a very, very special relationship that I had, and finding that love, and cultivating that love and eventually losing that love, but the album documents the journey through that. And this song is called The Heart That Went Home. And I think you guys, listen to the lyrics. I think you guys will kind of get it. Oh, now you were my best friend, and the love that I had, I don't know where you went. All I know is one day you were gone, and the world stopped and fell to its knees. Oh, I looked around for my heart, and I found it in the sand, right outside your house. Oh, we hurt like hell just to try and brush it off. It was ripping and digging in deep. I tried to rinse it, but I was out of tears. Carefully, I wrapped it up. I took it home with me. Oh, and everyone was with their hands in their pockets as the pain came pouring out of me. Oh, the hurt and the sorrow that I could have left in the past found its way to my feet. Oh, now one day things just changed. A turn no one could have made. Eyes opened up after years of dysfunction and callousness taking the bed. Oh, and I'm without you once again. Oh, you stood in my doorway with tears in your eyes, and you couldn't say what I meant. But I see through all that the love that we shared is real, even if it wasn't said. Oh, your eyes told the story of 2 years of sweetness and laughter that ran through my veins. Oh, now winter is here and it pushes us away, and I'm without you once again. Oh, the love that I have still could fill up the ocean, and I know you'll always love me back. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. It's funny. Like I was listening to. Is it? I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Is it Josh, the guy who played right before me?
Kevin. Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin. Yeah. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize. I was listening to Kevin's songs and I was like, man, some emotion in that. You know what I mean? So some real emotion in that. You know what I mean? So and I was thinking to myself, this dude has been through some similar pain. You know what I mean? Like you can feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The songwriter, if you guys haven't heard, his name is John Moreland. Go check him out. He's another one of those that like just seethes with emotion. You know what I mean? Like his songs are just that. But yeah. So that's one of the songs from the album. Let me do another one that's maybe a little bit less a little bit more on the side of, when I found the love. So this one's actually the title track for the album. The working title for the album is called The Reason. And I'll play that one. All right, this song is called The Reason. I love to see your works. I close the curtains now. I love to touch you when the sun goes down. Your smile a treasure I will hold inside my eyes. The safest lockbox I could ever find. I wanna feel the love rise again. I wanna be here when it shines. I wanna feel the warmth upon my face. I wanna share it with you now. I love to hear you laugh. I live to make you laugh. I love to hold you when you laugh out loud. I love to be with you, just sit and be with you. You are the reason life is beautiful. I wanna feel the love rise again. I wanna be here when it shines. I wanna be the one upon my face. I wanna share it with you now. And I wanna show you that you are the reason life is beautiful. I will not hurt you now. I only guard you now. I will be strong in case your heart is weak. And so I sing this song only for you, not just to tell you that you're beautiful. You are the reason life is beautiful. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, Eddie. All right. Well, let's throw it over at Sean Gallagher. If you're out there, we're coming over to you. Thank you again, Eddie. Really appreciate you joining, and good to see you again, man. How's everything out in California? Hey, how about
Everything's fantastic, you guys.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check me out, I'm live every Thursday night at youtube.com/EddieBooze Live. That's my live channel, and my main channel is youtube.com/EddieBooze. So thank you guys so much for having me again tonight. It's wonderful to meet all of you guys, and hopefully I'll be out there to see all of you guys personally pretty soon.
On. Okay. See you, Eddie.
Take care.
All right. Peace out. You too.
Have a great night.
All right. All right, Sean, we are coming at you. Let's go. Sean Gallagher. Take 2. Here we go. All right, we got him. Hey, Sean.
Wow.
All right, let's see. Here we go. We got Sean. Boom. Is that... All right, Sean, you can look for on your phone, look for the little camera icon and tap on that camera icon. By the way, can you guys see everything? Is the TV displaying everything?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm tapping the little camera icon.
Okay. Well, we can hear you.
Can Can you see me?
Can't see you.
Can't hear you either.
You can't hear him? Well, we
Well,
can't.
he's
He's
not
not talking. Yeah.
Speaker is.
You can hear him now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. He hung up on us. All right. We can calling him back. We knew he's there. All right. All right. I think you accidentally hung up on us, or I don't know. Maybe the application just hung up. But try tapping that video icon again, and if not, we're just gonna leave the Skype logo up there so we can hear you, and we'll go like we did last time, and people will just be able to hear you.
Okay.
You got it briefly. Last time we had your video for a second, and then it looked like the phone fell down or something, and then we lost you.
The phone fell down. Well, the phone didn't fall down. Tapping that icon, nothing is happening.
Okay.
Nothing is happening there.
Okay. Well, let's just go forward like this. We can all hear you. So it's music anyway.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to do a cover.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll give a little introduction. This is Sean Gallagher. He's from Long Beach, California as well. He hosted an open mic at Fox Coffee House for probably like 4 years. It was a really popular open mic in Long Beach. And he's a singer-songwriter, and well, I'll just leave it there. Yep.
Can you hear this? Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar, tearful when the sky was full of thunder, cheerful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted pony goes up and down. Captive on this carriage seventh time. Can't return, you can only look behind from where you came. And go round and round and round in the circle game. 10 years about me. Tires turned the tires around town. And they told him, take your time, it won't be long now. Drag your feet slow, they circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. Captive on a carrot at a time. Can't return, you can only look behind from where they came. And go round and round and round in the circle game. Now the years go by and now the boy's 20. Light years turn to car wheels round the town. Till you take your time, it won't be long now. Too slow your feet to drag that circle down. And the seasons they go round and round. Painted ponies go up and down. Only turn from where you're going down. When you go, let's go down. When you go round and round and slow that circle down. When you go round and slow that circle down. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Pretty. The Seasons. So, can you tell us a little bit about what that song is about? From what I could make out, it sounds like you're talking about the seasons. You know that you know it kind of just goes. Life kind of goes on, and it's spinning in a circle. But you talked about also that you can slow it down. How do you slow it down? Somebody wants to, I want to know.
I'm not sure how you slow it down. To tell you the truth, I know I've been slowed down. I know it's health things can jump in there and slow you down. But I think it's a matter of just flowing with it and doing your best to take things as they come, and sort of just letting it roll off your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So last time you were talking about a health issue that you were having and how it had been affecting you, and also that you performing music seemed to. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about that. Mention that again for those that didn't.
Well,
hear, or no.
I mean, the whole thing prior to, I had a stroke like about a year ago, and I don't even remember how long. And it the impact, it really didn't impact me. I didn't think until I tried to do some things that I used to do. One of which is playing music. Just coordinating the playing and the singing is a struggle, and so I try to do that. I try to do that now. I try to do that by coming on and to this broadcast and doing it. But I haven't been successful in it, and it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. I don't know but I guess you just have to keep doing. You just have to keep going and doing things that you've done. I mean, I do this. I do this, and I talk about it, and I don't want to. I don't want to harp on it, on having a stroke and how that can affect you in terms of just remembering how to physically do something. But it does have an impact on you, and I don't know. It's just I appreciate the opportunity. You keep extending the opportunity to letting me come back on and trying it again, doing something again. So I can. So I appreciate
Thanks
that.
for coming on.
And yeah,
Hey,
thanks
I'd
for
like to
having
ask
me.
you a question, Sean. How has it?
Yeah.
Has this impacted your writing in a negative way or a positive way? Do you?
I didn't think that it had impacted me at all. But it was 3 or 4 months before I even took the made the effort to pick up the guitar, and I kept telling myself that it's not gonna be.
Dogs are they're
Yeah, dogs are fun. But yeah, I mean it impacted me. It impacts. You sit and think about things, and things are real clear, and what you want to do is and what you want to pull off is very the idea is very clear in your head. But when it comes right down to doing it, it's a little slower,
Making
you know,
it harder.
and it's a little trickier. So you put that on top of the fact that I'm old anyway, and it's it just gets kind of complicated.
well, your playing sounded pretty good tonight.
But
I thought your
Yeah,
playing
I
sounded
thought
good.
so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
well, thanks guys. I appreciate it. It's
That's a
not anywhere. It's not anywhere near where it should be. But I appreciate the opportunity to be on and play
I
with you
heard that
guys.
song back in the 60s. Now, I was thinking it might be Joni Mitchell, but I don't know. Is it Joni
Yeah,
Mitchell?
it was Joni. Yeah, it was Joni Mitchell. So anyway, thanks
Right
a
on.
lot.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right,
We'll
sounds
see you
good.
next time.
Thank you, Sean. Have a good night, man.
All right.
All right. Bye.
You too, man. Bye bye.
All right. Let's go to get rid of this. All right. Well, Grant.
All right.
All right.
So I'm going to play a couple songs. I have a really good friend. He makes electronic music. We met probably 7 or 8 years now, and it blossomed into a really, really good friendship. We both ended up moving down to Charleston probably about 3 years ago, and he really got me to see music more from a production standpoint, which really impacted how I wrote music, and also got me into, you know, I got a Mac and then Logic, and I would go to the studio with him, and then we used to just sit around and we used to write songs. A lot of them were jokes, you know, but then every once in a while we'd come up with something that would end up being, you know, just a really good song. So this is the song. I released an album in 2020 under my name Days Like Decades, and this is, we both got into the studio, and well, not even, it was his apartment that we recorded this song in. And I just started playing this right here, and we just ended up building a song around it. Basically, like, I'm not going to be able to play the electronic portion, but I'll play an acoustic version of it. There we go. don't wanna spend my life running from my fears. At home, waiting for my mind to clear. Someday I know I will rise above it all. I'll keep swimming in the haze of my own will. Hey, I needed a bass drop.
Sorry, clicked the wrong thing.
That's the part where usually the electronic portion comes in. So
Okay, I nailed it.
I wanna bask in the Carolina sun, write the stories we'll tell of when we were young. It's time I made the leap too late to jump the gun. Thank you. And I guess I failed to mention, both of these songs I wrote inspired by him. Today's his last day in Charleston. He's moving up to Virginia to be with his family. And it's one of those things where you're happy and you know, like, that's what's best for him. But,
It's tough when your musician buddies leave the state.
Oh, yeah. It's tough. As I know, no one knows,
Yeah.
So this song right here is one I played over the summer for him and a few other of my friends on the back porch of my parents' house. It was kind of late at night. You could still hear the crickets and cicadas going. And it's about learning to appreciate and find the good in change. This song is called Springtime Rain. Looking for the lost again, standing in the springtime rain, enveloped in past, and to the skies and start again. The cycles circle like the seasons, flowers bloom and life begins. I could learn to smell the roses, learn to live life in the moment. How many new doors would open if I could somehow see the hope in springtime rain. The past is haunting. Moving forward seems so daunting. If you could have those days back, you know you would. But they didn't last, they're gone for good. could learn to smell the roses, learn to live life in the moment, how many new doors would open if I could somehow see the hope in springtime rain, springtime rain, hey, hey, hey. Thank you.
Awesome.
Some good notes in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's I am a perfectionist and I've tried recording that song like 10 times, but that is a hard song to play.
Yeah.
I bet
And I can't get it right. But one of these days I'll finally get the right recording.
I feel like that one's begging for a shaker.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
agree. Yeah.
Okay. I was wanting to just do a shaker and snap over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it's got a groove to it.
Yeah.
You know, Grant, I've seen you play, like, do your singer-songwriter thing quite a few times since I met you. And the thing I love about your music is your vocals are great, but you also know how to write guitar parts that are equally as interesting. So whenever I'm watching you play, I'm not solely focused on your voice. I'm always wanting to listen to all aspects of it. And that little, like, rhythmic thing you were doing just now on that song, perfect example of that. I'm listening to your singing, and I'm also listening to the guitar part. So it's just all around awesome.
I really appreciate it. That's a great compliment.
Absolutely, man. It's a great song.
I know nothing about jazz, but I love jazz, and I love when people hit the acoustic guitar to make sounds and the rhythmic capabilities and everything of it. So I definitely try to, whenever I do the singer-songwriter thing, incorporate those into, using like jazzy and seventh chords. Oof. And then whatever this one is, I have no. Ooh.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
I love that chord.
Your starring chord there. I'm thinking, what is that?
Right?
What is that?
Hey, what is it? Do you know what it is?
No, I think it's like it's awesome. I almost don't want to know. It's
Yeah, I hear that. No, I know. Yeah.
Did you ever use it in anything but that song?
Well, this one wasn't even in that song. This is just I tend to go to this one anytime I'm like, I really want the prettiest chord I could possibly find. I think it's like a 7-Eleven.
Start naming gas stations. Like
Yeah.
It's a 7-Eleven,
It's a
shell.
It's a Sphinx. What is it? There's a Sphinx gas station. I can't even. I'm blanking out on all the gas stations. names.
It's a Circle K.
Yeah, it's a 7-Eleven Circle K chord. Diminished.
Circle K minor.
It's a what else? A Murphy's. I don't know. Why can't I think of any gas stations? A Texaco, a Murphy's Texaco, suspended. Anyway, okay, beat that joke to death, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
All right, well, let's see. Like, do any of y'all have any upcoming events or anything that y'all are doing, music related, that, and any other streaming events or podcasts that you're going on, or music that you're working, any projects that you're working on, or anything like that?
Well, if you are a musician in Charleston, you got to come to Mike Club.
Come to my club.
Amen.
All right. We come
Tuesday nights, right?
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights in Park Circle, Southern Roots Park Circle. We start at 7 to 10. Sometimes there's a drum set there. But every time I set up a bass amp, a guitar amp, and a cajon, sometimes there's somebody brings a better cajon, which is really nice. It makes me want to buy a cajon, but I buy that cajon, but I already have one, and
They can get expensive quickly.
Yeah, that's the problem with being a musician. You always find other things to buy, and
Never
it
ends.
it never ends. It really doesn't. It's like, man, that cajon is way better than my cajon. It's just got such a deeper bass that it gets out, you know. And the tools are a big deal, you know. That's one thing I've learned more in recent times is just how important your like management of frequencies are. You know, like as a musician, you're the person that's in charge of the frequencies that are bouncing around. You know, the audio frequencies, and like so that having that cajon have a nice bass that can really reach out to those walls, and you know it's there and available to you. Whereas my cajon, it's like, oh, sorry, not like that.
Your cajon sounds like a piano.
Yeah.
2 in 1.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a whole music lingo too that like I used to not understand at all. Like, oh, that sounds really muddy, or oh, that sounds really bright, but you could hear the tones and frequencies. Da 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 da. Really feels milky. It's like, what are you talking about?
Milky.
But the more.
The way you just said it there, it just sounds like we all are just super tired. We're like, I love the tones.
Yeah,
And
had a really milky, muddy, bright toned.
going for a dirty sound.
I like the word milky as it pertains to sound.
I don't know what it means, but
I like it though.
yeah, I think like a good bass sound is probably milky.
Yep.
Yeah, a really nice smooth bass.
Maybe chocolatey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I used to play bass. I was more murky than milky.
Okay. Somehow I knew what you were meant.
But it's a wonderful instrument.
Yeah.
I played bass at Mike Club last week, and I was
And you
jamming
killed
out.
it.
Yeah, I had some people had that one lady came up to me
Yep.
and she was like, "You're just in the zone." And I was like, I was having a good time. Yeah, for sure.
That's the best part of my club though, is getting to collab with people you may have just met
Oh
that
yeah.
night.
Well, I remember the
Never
first
know
time I
what's
went
gonna
to
hit.
Mike Club. What I saw you, met you, and Uncle Tim was there too.
Yep.
And I think we all ended up getting on stage and jamming with Uncle Tim. Did we?
I
Probably.
think so.
I don't remember, but it was first time up on a stage, and the next thing I know, I'm jamming with 7 other musicians.
Oh yeah. I remember that day. Yeah. You guys brought a keyboard that
Yep.
night. Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
cool. Yeah, murky bass. Yeah, actually, bass. I've got a much bigger appreciation for bass. Actually, when I think about being a musician, if I went back and did it again, I'd probably learn the bass. I'd probably be a bass player because bass players have it the best. You can play with everyone. It's really pretty easy to jump in with like all sorts of different styles. It's not like too complicated to be able to find good notes that will help. And
It's the most fun.
it's a ton of fun.
You're just halfway. It's the bridge between the rhythm section and the what is it? The melody.
It has a lot to do with rhythm, and but the low end is so crucial to getting people to dance, I think. And then also, your setup is super easy. You just bring a bass and a bass amp, and you're good. You know and you don't have to do any of like the. All you gotta do is just move a little bit on stage, and you're good, man.
Pedals aren't as much,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen like a bass player with a pedal board the size of the table, but
I used to wonder like why do people play the bass? Because like that's the worst one, right? It's the
Yeah.
You want to be the drummer or the lead singer or the electric guitarist because everyone's like fixated on that. But then now I realize you don't want to be the person. You want to be the person that nobody's worrying about, and you just get to like do your thing and have a great time and have the easiest setup and breakdown.
Little did
And
we
still
know
get paid.
bass players were they just had it all figured out and didn't want us to figure it out too.
Yeah.
I never thought about playing bass, and I never much noticed the bass. But I went to this party, and I was trying to impress people, so I was playing some George Harrison song, and somebody else came on, and he was way better than me, a little older than me, and I thought, wow, this guy's really good. Well, maybe we can get together and jam. And he said, well, he was starting a band, and he's looking for a bass player. So I said, well, I can play bass.
Yeah.
So I had about 3 days to learn how to play it, and I borrowed somebody's bass, and
the knowledge transfers really easily.
it does.
between
It does.
guitar and
If you're a
bass.
good rhythm guitar player, all you have to do is, instead of playing the G chord, you play the G note.
Yep.
So I had this Martin D28 then, and he wanted me in the band, but I didn't have my own bass. So he traded my Martin D28 for a Fender Jazz bass, and I thought, wow, this is really great. But after playing with a guy for about 6 or 9 months, we didn't get along. So now I had a bass and no band, and my Martin D28 was gone forever.
man.
So I got a Yamaha for about $100, which is a very good imitation of the Martin D28, and eventually I caught up with some good acoustic guitars. But for about 10 years, bass was what I played when I got with other people, and it was a nice break from the pressure of you're singing a song, you're trying to put it across. You could blow it, you'll feel terrible when you do. And then when I got back to writing songs and playing my own songs, it was way better than the first time.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. Maybe going forward is being like, even that's one reason why I'm putting more time into the piano, is just being an instrumentalist. I think there's a lot to enjoy just about being an instrumentalist. It's exhausting being the front person. It really is. It's like, because you got all this attention on you, everybody's watching, and then that's not, because I just close my eyes. As Grant knows.
I showed up to his gig a couple weekends ago, and I was there for like 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. Showed up to Mike Club a few days later. It was like, hey, I was at your gig.
Yeah,
he was like, you
know.
were?
I literally closed my eyes for like an hour.
Yeah. It was like, and then like 30 minutes later, he came up to me. It's like, okay, so I noticed that there were people looking at me. So I was like, okay, like, I'm going to close my eyes tighter. Was that you? And I was like, yeah, I was sitting right in front of you for like half an hour to 45 minutes.
Some days, because like some days I just, people are, and this isn't, because like that's the whole thing of being a musician. Like part of what you're there is to connect with, what you're there for is to connect with people. And the way I've approached it more recently is I just want to give people the best sound that I can give. And so I try to put out as much energy as I can. I try to put out music and sound that does what I think the people are wanting to get out of being there. And so I just listen to kind of like how people respond to what. Do they get noisier now, or do they get quieter? Or is it, I don't know, stuff like that. And I just try to put out good songs, a good mix of different things, but then a huge part of what being a musician is you're there to connect with people socially. But there are days where I just don't feel like connecting with people socially. I'm just like I'm all tapped out. So then I'll close my eyes, because sometimes you get people that start looking at you and take a big interest in it, and I go all out. I go for I express myself to my fullest ability, and then so that inspires people at different times. But then it's not always that's how I'm feeling. That's I'm just doing that, and then people are like, wow, this and I. It's like I just don't want that interaction. It's like, And so then like I see you guys staring intently at me, so I'm like, eye contact. Like, if I make eye contact, then this has to happen, and then they're gonna come tell me like, oh, you were so great in that moment. I'm like, I'm depressed as hell. Like, I don't want to be here. So like, I don't. Like, I can't uplift you. I'm doing everything I can right now. So, and then, anyway, so I apologize, Grant. I should have been there.
No. I thought it was funny. I'm not taking any offense to it, but I am gonna tell the story because you know, it's a funny one.
But yeah,
I totally
my
get
eyes.
it though. You
Okay.
know, so there are days whenever I just want to go into work, get my job done, not talk to anyone,
Exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
go home. But
Yeah.
you don't really have that option.
Yeah.
if you're a musician.
Fortunately,
all
I'm
the
not a
time.
comedian because like at least you can close your eyes when you're a musician, you know, and that's the way I do it on
It'd be
a
weird
decent
if
number
a
of times.
comedian closed their eyes.
Yeah. Actually, maybe that's the next big thing. You know, there's that guy Bert
Kreischer?
His thing is he takes his shirt off and does his whole set with his shirt off. Or I've seen that, at least I've seen a bunch of his sets. He always seems to have his shirt off, and he's you know pretty.
Always, yeah.
So maybe that's the next thing is the comedian needs to be up there and
Just
close their eyes.
blindfolded.
Yeah.
The blindfolded comedian.
But yeah, you can close your eyes and you can get through sets. But then always, like if you're playing a band show at the end, people are gonna always be coming up and talking, and so you got to engage everyone. As the bass player, you could kind of just go pack your stuff up. So
True. True.
We love you, bass players out there. You hold it down.
Like I'll go and sell my guitar at this point. I'm gonna get a bass.
Well, thank you guys for coming out, and thank you to everybody that listened tonight. All you guys out there listening, and hope you guys enjoyed the event tonight. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We still got like a couple minutes before we hit 9, which is kind of. All right then.
Nothing.
All right. Well, thanks again to everybody that tuned in. Thank you guys for playing and coming and playing music. And
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for having us.
Blast.
Eddie and Sean, thank you guys for joining in through Skype. And this was the second eOpenMic of 2022. We're going to do it 10 more times, last Monday of every month. It is an open mic, so if anybody wants to join again that's participated before, you're more than welcome. As far as we do 3 in-studio guests and 4 digital acts. And so I'm going to put a little more effort this month into finding more digital acts and just sending out a lot more messages and trying to get more people that are not just in Long Beach, California, which is where I know most of the musicians. So I know a few people in New Orleans, and I know a few people in Texas. What is it? There's a place where they do kite surfing out in Texas, and some people in Nashville, and so I'll try to get some more people from around the country. If you know anybody out there that is from different parts, that's one of the big things that I want this to be. When I first did it, Mike, 2 years ago or so, we had literally a duo, a band from in a basement in London joined. We had a comedian from India that almost joined. I couldn't see how that was going to work out, but he somehow found out about it, and so I'm hoping that it gets a little more buzz and we start to get more people from lots of different places. We had some people from Maryland last time, California, I think Washington D.C. and Seattle and Florida, and that's one of the things I wanted this to be, is a chance for people to connect and kind of meet different musicians in the area. Like Eddie Booz, for example, is somebody that's performed in Long Beach. He said since he's 18. He's been performing there a pretty long time. He plays at almost all the main clubs in Long Beach. Long Beach, for those that don't know, it's its own thing, but it's kind of part. I feel like it's part of LA, but it's definitely its own thing. And it's just, if you ever go into LA, they've got, like, there's a guy, Matt Calhoun here in town who's performing. He's been going out to LA a bit. He's a musician here in town. He performs probably 6 to 7 nights a week. And he recently was going out to LA to perform in Harvell's in Santa Monica. And they've got Harvell's in Long Beach as well. So like Eddie Booz, if you're wanting to go out to California and you want to learn about some of the clubs, Eddie Booz would be a perfect guy to talk to. He's hosted open mics out there. He gigs out there on a regular basis. So, you know,
Is that Booz, like Booze?
like that's his name, Edward Lawrence Booz. I thought the same thing when I saw his name the first time out there. I was like, okay, that's got to be, you know, a stage name, but that's his name. And yeah, Eddie Booz. And all right, well, other than that, thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll be back on the last Monday of March, which is going to be